Hello, everyone, and welcome to another episode of It's Not Just Magic. I'm super excited. I have Deb King with me here today. Deb, how are you doing today?
I'm so excited. Life is so really amazing right now, and it's the perfect timing to have this chat with you. It's so nice to see you. It's not just magic. I am so happy to be here.
Awesome. Well, we'll tell all of our viewers like a little bit about who you are and what you do.
Okay, so thank you. So I'm Deb King. I'm based in Sydney, Australia, and I'm the co-founder of the Wisdom Playground. and we really like to have fun co-creating new and better ways to do life and business. We're actually on a mission to have everyone supported and thriving. And we focus on creating a beautiful ohana, which is a Hawaiian word for family. And the people in our ohana resonate with the name, the Wisdom Playground, firstly. And they are coaches, healers, new era wisdom leaders, those kind of awesome souls who have fresh wisdom to uplift humanity in some way. And what we're doing with them is playing in the intersection of bringing the best of ancient wisdom, spiritual wisdom, modern science, and business together to create better ways to do business, particularly because most business training and business operations are still based on industrial era thinking that don't account for the fact that humans run businesses and energy matters. Mm-hmm. So we are doing some really cool stuff in that domain and saying anything that happened BC before COVID needs a refresh. So let's co-create better. New and better.
BC now has a whole new meaning.
I know. I'm trying to actually get that one to stick. So please run with it.
I love that. BC before COVID. Yeah. And that's so right, because really having the pandemic and having COVID happen did change the dynamic of how people had to think and had to do business. And it's like everybody kind of had to go pivot, shift, change. And I do see that the people who have made that shift and were really quick to make that shift, like their businesses just kind of exploded over COVID. Would you agree with that?
I would say for some, definitely. I feel that for me, so my vision 2020 was to follow my dream to live in Hawaii. I had arranged a retreat for women in April 2020. And of course, the world stopped traveling in March 2020. So I ended up staying in Sydney and just decided I'm going to stay open and come out thriving. Ended up talking with my business partner and things unfolded. So the Wisdom Playground is a pandemic baby that it just happened. It wasn't like we go, let's start a business together. It's just the alignment and everything unfolded. And it's been a journey to be where we are right now. And I feel like it's an ongoing upgrade. So it's not like I did a pivot and straight away boom. It has been an ongoing evolution. Absolutely. And it is actually quite magical playing from that space of getting the feedback, continually upgrading. And so, yeah, it's not really for me a destination. It's an ongoing practice in a way to keep pivoting and upgrading. And well, we call it experimenting actually. So, yeah.
That's awesome. I love that. So, what kind of started? So I'm glad that you brought up the story of like kind of how COVID kind of changed that. Like, what got you on this path to begin with, of the path of being an entrepreneur and all of that?
Okay, cool. So I've always been rather unconventional. Actually, both my parents had businesses when I was growing up, but I just wanted to have fun, and so I was a party animal, and I ended up, I went to uni and did a Bachelor of Commerce Marketing, but only because I didn't know what else to do. And I thought, I'll do business, and then thought marketing seemed the most fun. Back then, there was no social media. Like, it was a very different thing. But even branding was such a small aspect of that whole program. But anyway, that's another story. What I did do was go to London because we had a real passion for travel, and I ended up working in a record company and nightclubs. And I started on the bar, became a bouncer, then a nightclub manager. And eventually realized it's time to do other stuff, and stuff happened. And I ended up coming back to Sydney in 2003 to become a life coach, and realized I'd been on a happiness journey inquiry all my life, but I was seeking externally for it. That's not where you find it. And then to become a life coach, I thought, it'd be easy to get clients and have a business. And was I like a little bit delusional or naive? But so I went into business, and I love the people stuff. All the other tasky stuff that you have to do in business, not really my thing. Back then, there wasn't really the same sort of outsourcing options and different things that are available now. That very different times, like how much things have changed. Even coaching was not even heard of by most people. Like, it was a very early days of that. However, throughout the career, I've been on a personal development, spiritual development, entrepreneurial development journey, and was always really good at the coaching session. But I was actually really crap at selling and marketing myself, despite having a marketing degree and also working in sales jobs where I was top salesperson. So I was crap at that. Then when I met Gabby, my business partner, she was telling me about some research she did to build a tech platform for the coaching industry. And she uncovered some amazing information in that process, which identified that only about 1% of coaches are truly thriving. And that's really sad. But what was exciting is she also realized that the 1% who are thriving do things differently to everyone else. So when I heard this information, I was like, I wish I knew this my entire career. We've got to get this to more coaches and healers. And so there's a massive passion for me to share this. And that's sort of where we are today, in focusing on supporting coaches and healers and wisdom teachers with their mastery of how they create and deliver their wisdom products in their business. Also, we play with monergy, which is, we like to make up words, the good energy around expanding money flow. And then we play with well-being, because we all need to be well, and to make that fun, easy, and simple. So, right. Yeah. So it's been a journey, but it's been a passion, and it's been a unfolding.
Gotcha. Yeah. I do find it interesting that you're like 1% of business coaches actually were like being successful in what they were like in their own business. And I think that is, when you're looking for like the business coaches, you kind of want to find those people who have been there, who have done that, who have that track record of helping of businesses where that they can say like they have been through my program and they have been successful. Just because I feel like when it comes to business coaches, there are so many options. And one of the reasons that I've loved connecting with you is that like every time you and I have met and connected, like we've had such great conversations, and like you're just very passionate about the people that you're helping, and really truly seeing that that it's helping and that it's working for not just your clients, but it's also like you actually have that thriving business as well. And I just think that that's such an important factor.
Thank you. Yes, it's an ongoing journey, and it's all sorts of coaches and healers that are in this situation. But the thing is, they're not taught what these principles are in coaching schools or business schools. It's actually uncovered by Gabby quite uniquely. And some people have done, the ones that were in that 1% when she did the research, they were doing it somehow. I don't know how they did it, but they didn't realize they were doing it, because when she fed back the research to them, they applied the principles and did even better. So it's really interesting how how powerful when you have the right structure and you know the little tools that make the difference, how game-changing it is. Because there's so many of us who have a big heart and a big calling. We want to help people, and we can do a great job when we have that opportunity in the session. But the actual structure around the business part of that and the way to package that is not necessarily done well by many.
Right.
Mm.
Absolutely.
Mm.
What is the one thing that has made the most profound impact on you and your business?
Oh, nice question. Really always struggle with just one thing.
Right.
Yes. Can I have more than one?
You can. You can have more than one, for sure.
Thank you. I like to break rules anyway. I think that's one of them. Don't follow the rules.
Exactly.
Don't just do what they say. They say, the experts say, always tune in to what's in alignment for yourself. Our inner wisdom knows. And if you feel energized, and that's a sign it's a yes. And if you don't, if it's draining, if it is, that's a no. That's like a don't do it, even if they say do it. So that probably is one major thing that is really important, to be aware of our energy, and our energy and our vibration is everything, and to prioritize that. One of the beautiful ways to do that is to breathe into our heart and just get present, and start to get connected with the subtle messages that our inner wisdom is always telling us, rather than being in our head and driving ourselves nuts. So love ourselves, love yourself. You're amazing. And don't think, like, the problem is often we think we shouldn't have problems. We're always going to have stuff happen. It's just different quality problems, right? But it's all okay. It's part of the human experience. We came as to experience life, to taste the pizza. I like the movie from Soul, movie on Disney called Soul, where
I love that movie too.
We're just here to have an experience. Stop judging, transcend judgment of all of it, and just have fun.
Yeah. And I
can keep going, but that's probably enough. One thing.
well, I love that you brought up the movie Soul, because I love that movie kind of shows it's like even the soul that was up there was trying to figure out what's my one thing that, because I guess in the movie it was I'm not sure what, but the soul itself was like, I have to figure out what my one thing is before I go down there. And really, it was just the inspiration of being in the moment and actually being present. And life is the reason for being here. And that was kind of like the whole point of the movie. And I love Disney movies.
You made me want to watch it again. I just love it. Yes. I actually think the thing for humanity, the more we can transcend judgment, the better. And one really easy way to stop judging is to get curious, to just really, it's actually magic. It's not just magic, but it is part of magic.
It is part of magic. Yes. It takes the spark of magic, but it's not just magic that makes it happen, right?
Yeah, totally.
So if someone were to come to you and say, "Hey, Deb, I want to start my business. I want to start my career. Building something that I want to do. What's the best advice?" I guess it wouldn't be I know it's going to be amazing advice. I'm not sure if best was the right word to use, but what would be your advice to those people who are wanting to start their journey?
Well, firstly great to be looking to others to ask for advice and possibly get um, mentors that are where you want to be, and to help fast track you. And like I said before, always still trust your inner wisdom of what feels right, not to just take on what everyone else's advice is, because this is a time where anything is possible. If you look at what happened in 2020, I think if any of us were told before that that was going to happen, I certainly wouldn't have thought it was possible. I'm guessing most people would not have believed that was possible. For me, it's evidence anything's possible. So we can actually create new and better ways. So we don't have to do it the way we've always done it. It is a time to create in a new way. So one of the things is to actually really not just look to create what's already been created, to really tune in and trust that there's possibility to do things very different. Surround yourself with people who uplift you and support you, and keep learning and experimenting without judgment. So do something and test it and see what the feedback is, but don't take it on as a personal thing. If the feedback isn't what you want, just then tweak it, right? Like, so so I feel like that whole judgment thing can really get in the way of moving fast and effectively. So yeah, that would be some of my advice. And happy to have a conversation, like to actually get to know you more and give more specific advice. I love uplifting people, and so very, very happy to do that.
Yes. I'm really glad that you made the point of saying finding the coaches and the people that are in the space that you want to be. So if you're starting out and you're like, this is where I want to get to. There's one coach that I work with. She's like, build everything that you do for that future, not for like, because you're not always going to be where you're at today. You do have to kind of package it so that it fits where you are today, but at the same time to make it not to make it so concrete that it can't be changed. It can't have that ebb and flow to it, so that it can grow to where you're going to.
Absolutely. And yeah, and that's the thing, to not actually invest too much money before you get some of that feedback of what you want to do, because I see a lot of people spend a lot of money in an area that they haven't really even got necessarily someone who wants to buy it, and that can really be demoralizing and yeah, not healthy. We don't need everything perfect before we sell something. And so if you don't have sales, you don't have a business.
Right.
So you need to actually realize that you're going to need to sell, and you're going to need to allow yourself to receive money. Otherwise, it's just a hobby. And
true.
It's not really going to be a business.
Right. Well, and I love, and yeah, because I also love that, like, because especially in the space of our energy workers and our healers, and sometimes that concept is really hard because because people who are typically in that line of work, they have such a big heart that they just don't, they're like, oh, but I mean, I just to help that person out or whatever. No, that was your time. That was your energy. You went to training for XYZ. You paid somebody to teach you the things that you know. You paid somebody to help you develop your gifts. You have spent time and energy developing on your own. You deserve to get paid for what you do.
Yes.
And I think that I think that a lot of the times, especially if people are starting out, they just don't have that. It can be more of a confidence thing, that they just don't think that they deserve to have that, and they absolutely do. So I'm glad you brought that up.
Well, that's the thing, to know you do deserve it, you're worthy. If you've got a passion to do it, then that is and gifts and talents. It's what you're meant to do. Like it, and it's okay to receive money. You must receive, like, just see money as energy and love. Just change the word if you don't like the word. And it's also okay to be generous. You don't have to be like it doesn't mean you have to charge heaps of money to every single person. Like it's like really work on your money stuff, because that is an important part at the moment. What we use in business, potentially that will change over time, but yeah, it's an important thing to know you're worthy. I kind of see it like that whole BC thing, right? Leave all the fears, doubts, judgments of yourself in BC. Realize that now it is time for you to shine and thrive. And potentially you're in a habit of being in a survival struggle reality, but it's time to step fully into a thriving reality and embody that. So imagine, what does that future vision look like, and who are you when you're thriving, and start to really practice being that person and taking the actions that person takes. That does include charging for what you do and receiving money and making sales and all that stuff. And definitely there's so much support to make that fun and easy. So have fun with it.
Yes. If you're not having fun,
don't do it.
Yeah. So one of my friends that I hang out with a lot, she's like, we've just kind of got this saying going on that if it's not like a hell yes, it is a hard pass. Like,
definitely. Or even it's just a no for right now, but it's only do the true yes. And then that magic happens when you just keep following that inner yes. Woof, watch out.
Right? And I feel like a lot of the times it's like sometimes we get caught up in the moment and we say yes or okay to something before we really think it all the way through. And then later we go back and go, oh, should I have said yes to that? And so there's a person that I actually follow on Instagram, and she does a whole like video series on like People Pleasers Express is what she calls it. And it's like, how can I show you, or how can I tell you how to say no today? And they just kind of go through different scenarios. And so it's kind of like it's good to kind of take that pause. I guess what that really gets to is learning to kind of take that pause and actually sit with that question. Hey, do you want to go do this? Do you want to go do that? Sit with it for a minute. Really tune into, how do I, like, what's the energy that I'm feeling around this, and then respond. And it's okay if it's a yes, it's okay if it's a no. It's okay, because yeah. Yes. I'm a people pleaser. I'm a recovering people pleaser. That's an important thing for me.
Me too. I'm a recovering people pleaser too. And I love when I learned, when I'm saying yes, I'm still saying no to something else. Like we're always saying no to something, even when we're saying yes. So to be aware of that, because often we're saying no to our own time or time with loved ones or whatever. If, you know, we're saying yes to everything in work scenarios, right? But yeah, so like you say, take that pause, really tune in for what is the yes for you and what feels fun, and let go of any obligations or shoulds. Like really, there, we leave those in BC. Right. I'm still trying to make that stick.
I love really this new term. Before COVID, BC.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
We're kind of in this space where we're stepping out of that, and we're getting back to like some kind of hybrid of what the world looks like now.
Yeah, but the thing is, like, to not just take on the old busyness,
right?
Like to still take the blessings of what has happened, to recognize what's important, and to not do the obligations. Like I feel like the hybrid of where some people have to cancel because they get sick now, or different things are happening. So plans change all the time.
Right.
And I think that's actually training us all to be not so attached to obligation, that we know energy shifts in the moment. It's okay. It's okay. Things shift and change. Don't be so stuck on a one way plan.
And right. And also I feel like it used to, but you know, BC, it used to be that like whenever somebody would say, hey, I'm sick, or I've got a cold, or I've got something like going on and I'm not feeling that great, people would kind of like gloss over that and just be like, oh, come on. Anyway, just like toughen it out, just work through it. And then you're like, now people are like, no, go take it. Like COVID related or not.
Yeah.
They're like, go take that time for you to relax, to heal yourself, to give yourself that break that you need, because clearly your system is telling you something's amiss and I need attention from you. So like people are a lot more open to just being like, that's okay. We support you in doing that.
Yeah, sorry, go.
Oh, no, go ahead.
Well, we're not designed to just be constantly go, go, go. We need to take rest. Now, ideally, you take it before you get sick, but if your body's saying we need to rest. But to actually be really compassionate with ourselves and kind with ourselves and each other, but particularly we're often very hard and mean to ourselves. I know I was massively, so that's what led me to coaching. But yeah, to be kind and compassionate, because our society has a lot of conditioning about being not enough. Our society has a conditioning to be in our head, and actually we are the ones that can shift that, where we actually choose to love ourselves, be kind to ourselves, be compassionate to ourselves, and realize that energy and vibration matter, and being from our heart, living from our heart, not so much in our head, is actually the way forward. And so it's a really, really exciting time to be here.
Absolutely.
I
love that. There's one, it's like there's one, I end up on the social medias more than I want to be. But there is one video that's going around where it's like, I told, like, where the audio is basically saying, like, I told them, no, I was busy, and not in the conventional way of being busy, but it was more of just being busy and taking care of myself and listening to my own soul and going for walks and being in nature and all these things. And it's like, yes, that's important. Just as important as showing up for an event that's important, or anything else on your plate that's important.
Yes. I wonder what word we could make up for that, because I'm really happy to leave busy in BC as well. What could we call that? Anyway, it's one to ponder.
We'll have to come up with something.
Yeah.
So, okay. So any last words to our viewers? We got about 2 minutes left. So any
I would say you are amazing. You have so many gifts and talents potentially you haven't even tapped into yet. There is so much more potential in us as humans than we've even come close to tapping into. And so anything is possible. You've got this. Definitely connect if you resonate. If you're a coach, a healer, a wisdom teacher, would love to connect with you. We are a growing family, tribe, awesome, beautiful souls, like-hearted souls. And yeah, just go for it, because now's the time. Why not? Life's short. Have fun. Woo!
Absolutely. And Deb, just really quick, tell everybody where and how they can get a hold of you.
Okay, we are at thewisdomplayground.com. So THE wisdomplayground.com. I'm on all the socials. Probably website is the easiest thing, but Deb King, reach out. So happy to connect.
Awesome. And as always, I'm Cassie Clayton with Stargazers Unite. I am your branding alchemist, and I am here to help you with your brands, your logos, and your websites. All right. Well, thank you again so much for being here and taking the time to come on the show with me. I so enjoyed having you. And everybody, we will see you next time.
Thank
Bye.
you. Bye.